Hi everybody, this is Michelle, and I'm here today to share with you the tutorial that I promised for this baby explosion box. I was requested by one of my viewers to make one, and so I came up with this idea. I shared this a little while ago in a video that I did and explained that I used my explosion board scoreboard, which I love dearly, and use this design. However, it came up very, very thick, and I don't think you're going to be able to add pictures into it. So what I did was I am going to make it bigger, and we're not going to use the explosion scoreboard. We're going to use our regular scoreboard, but it is going to be a bigger box so that we're going to be able to put more things in it. Because this way, this one here, there's no way you're going to be able to put any extra pictures in it. There's just no way. Though it's a great design. I love how it turned out, but it's not going to work. But I'm going to show you this one, and then we're basically just going to supersize it. So that's what we're going to do today. Both of these collections were by Echo Park. This one is our baby girl. This one was our baby, and they're basically the same things, just different color palettes. So this one has a little bit more pink-ish, peach-ish colors in here, and this one was more of a neutral tone with kind of yellows and browns and things like that. So going to be the same kind of papers, but let me show you what this is going to look like. So we're going to have three layers to this explosion box. So the first layer here, and how I designed it was that I designed it to be baby's first year. So you could put a couple pictures in for every month of baby's first year. Okay. So on the outer panels here, we're going to have stacked pockets, and you could put pictures in there and things like that. So there will be three, 1, 2, and then 3 stacked pockets. And then, so that's months 1 through 4 on the outer layer. And then months 5, 6, 7, and 8 are going to have a layer that looks like this. And when you untie the ties, you're going to have a booklet. Let me see if I can get my fingers to work here. So you have a stacked booklet for each of the months. So now you can see like how thick this is. Just it's really just too small for what I wanted to do with it. So that's why we're going to supersize it. Okay. Then the third layer, which will be the next 4 months. So months 9, 10, 11, and 12, we're going to have a belly band feature. And of course, now I got this upside down, but it's going to come off, and then you're going to have like an accordion fold. Let me, cannot get my fingers to work. So you're going to have something that looks like that. Okay. And then you'll be able to put your pictures in. So when we make this the bigger size, this is going to more than adequately be able to fit photos and things like that. So this is kind of what we're going to be doing today. And let's get started with the tutorial. Let me get this out of the way. And we'll grab the first pieces that we need. So I have the pieces cut out, and I'm going to try and hopefully do this nice and quick for you. So I have all the pieces. So the first thing we're going to need to make the bigger box is the box. The one that I made with the explosion board is only 4 by 4. This one's going to be 6 by 6, so it is going to be a lot bigger. You're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock. I'm using artisan cardstock from Country Craft Creations to do this. And basically, I've already done that one. How about we score the one I haven't scored? That would probably be make more sense, right? All right. So you're going to take your 12 by 12 piece of paper. You're going to put it in your scoreboard. You're going to score at 6. And then you're going to turn it, and you're going to score at 6 again. The next step to this is we're going to have to cut the corner off of one of these. So let's see. Let's do it this way. Get this, and then I'm going to grab a craft knife, and I'm just going to whack off one of the corners. Okay, so I'm just going to line up the point between those score marks here, and then just take that completely off. Okay, you can keep this for another purpose later on if you wish. Okay, so you should have a piece that looks like this. So we have the 6 and 6 scores, and then we have this corner cut off. Then we're gonna need to score this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in my scoreboard, and when you cut that corner off, your points should land at 4 1/4 inches from the center, okay? So then I'm just going to score down to where that intersects, and that should line up perfectly with that score, okay? So just double check that, make sure your cut is right. And then we're done with this piece for now. Then we're going to fold and burnish. So you're gonna go with your score lines. So mountains become valleys, right? And that's why I did it opposite, because I want to make sure that my scores go in the direction that I want them to. Okay. I'm just going to make sure that everything's nice and lined up and straight. All right. And then with this corner score mark, I'm going to fold this in, and then I'm just going to kind of tease this out. And this is the same way I do all of my explosion boxes, okay? All right, so we have this kind of shape here. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect these two at the bottom, okay? That will help reinforce the bottom and give us the big space we need for our 6x6 box. So I'm just gonna grab my glue. Ooh. It's working really well today, isn't it? Good gravy. All right, and then I'm just gonna put this and line it up at the scores and glue that down. All right. I'm gonna turn that over and make sure none of that extra glue squirted out. Okay. All right, so we have that. Now we have to add these corners. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a piece of paper that is 7 by 7, and we're going to put it in our scoreboard. 7 by 7, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch all the way around. So 7, 6 1/2, turn it, 7, 6 1/2, okay? And then grab your mat, and we're going to cut this into a triangle, okay? So we're just going to line up the points and just cut this in half. You can use your trimmer too if you want. Whatever works. Okay, cut that completely in half. And then I'm going to take my scissors, I'm going to miter my corners. All right, so once you have your pieces mitered, then go ahead and fold and burnish on your scores. Then we're going to attach them to our box to create the corners. Okay, so we have that. So let's take a piece, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to, oh, I need to score these as well. Ah, I forgot. I have to score these as well. All right, so get your scoreboard out again. We need to line this guy up, and now again, that should be right around 4 1/4. When you put that flat up here, your point should line up right at that center mark. And again, this is why I have the red line there, so I can do that. So it should line up. We're checking our measurements, checking where our point ends up, and we're gonna score that. Okay, now we are cooking with gas. All right, so I'm gonna just line that up, fold and burnish, make sure everything is working well. Okay. All right. Okay. you have any little hangy offy things, and you can trim that up now. Okay, so then we're going to take this. Now the fold of the triangle needs to go to the inside of the box, and we're just going to glue those right to the inside of the box. I'm going to start with this one first, and I'm going to just apply a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to just line that up right to the edge of that part of the box, like so. And we can open that up. Now this should, when you lay it down, match the other side of your box, right? Okay, so we're going to just put our glue on here. And I'm going to turn it so I can see it, make sure that it nice and lines up. And that should line up perfectly. You can check it on the outside, looks good. Okay, now we're going to do it again over here. Okay, and this will be our box. So this is how you can make one that's a lot bigger, and then you can also add the sides to it as well. And when I make my explosion boxes, I really do like to put on the outside box, for sure, I like to put these corners in to make sure that the box stays enclosed. Otherwise, sometimes, depending on what's going on inside the box, your box can kind of collapse on itself when you try to pick it up, and I don't like that. So I like to try and make sure that this isn't going to do that. All right, so I'm just going to line that up and glue that down. Okay. And you can fold that up, burnish, because right now everything's nice and flat, so you can fold it and do all of the things. So anyways, this box will now fold up like this. So you can see this is going to be a lot bigger box, and you're going to be able to put a lot more things in there. You're actually going to be able to add pictures into here. All right, so now that we've got that done, we're going to look at the inside of the box. And then, so on the outside of the box, let's go to the outside of the box. We're going to cover it with pattern paper. And I do have my pattern papers picked out. Okay, so I cut mine at, oops, excuse me, 1/8 of an inch smaller. So each of these squares are 6 by 6. So I cut them at 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. And then I do have, you know, one for the center for the outside. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then let me gather this up. I'll do that off camera so you don't have to watch that, because that's pretty boring. So on the inside, we are going to cover the inside bottom, because that will show the inside box. This one measures 6 by 6. The inside box will be 5 by 5. So you're going to have 1/2 inch of space around each side. So you are going to need to cover the bottom of the box. So again, for the squares, I did cut the papers for that at 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. And then we have the triangles. Now on the outside of the box, I do not cover the triangles, because when you fold it up, they're not going to show. To cut the triangles that you're going to need to cover your box, you're going to need 2 pieces of pattern paper that measure 5 3/4 minus 1/16 by 5 3/4 minus 1/16. So those are going to cover the inner triangles to the box. Here's 5 3/4, back it off 1/16, cut, and then turn it, and then we'll cut, let's see, actually this one, 5 3/4 minus 1/16, and then cut. Okay, so that is how you cut your square. And then what you're going to do is just cut it on the diagonal. So I'm going to put it in my cutter here. And one of the tricks I learned from one of the other designers at Country Craft Creations, Nicole, is that if you take this and start it in the middle, then you won't mess up your points, which is a really smart trick. Okay, so now you have these two triangles, and we're going to cut these into triangles as well. So I'm just going to put this in. I'm going to line up the point right here, and I'm going to cut and keep those together because the patterns will match, and then that will that makes me happy for the for the project. And do it one more time. So I'm going to start, this one's going to be straight, so I'll just go at the top. But if you're cutting something that has 2 points on it that you're trying to go through, if you start in the middle of it, it works really nice. So that was a good hint and tip from Nicole. I've been trying to use that a lot more lately. All right, so if we grab the box now, I haven't put these on yet, I will do that. If we look at our triangle here, here's our triangle, and those will fit and cover that, map that absolutely perfectly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the papers on the outside of this and come back, and then we will work on the pockets. I have the outside covered, and remember, we're not going to do the triangles for those because when the box folds up, those are not going to show. Okay, so then here's the inside. So I went ahead and covered everything with our triangles that we made, and then I also added 3 of the 4 pockets, and I'm going to show you how to make the 4th pocket. So it's very simple to do. You just need a couple different things for this. So let's grab our papers and our scoreboard. And the first piece that you're going to need is a piece that's 6.5 by 7, and you're going to put it in your scoreboard, score at 1/2 and 6, and then turn it and score at 4. All right, so again, that is 6.5 by 7, score at 1/2, 6, and then turn it and score at 4. Then you're going to need another piece that is 6.5 by 2.5. We're going to score at 1/2 and 6, and then you're going to turn it and score at 1/2. All right. Then the last piece you'll need of the cardstock is a piece that is 1 by 5 3/8, and you're going to put it in with the one at the top. You're going to score at 1/2. Oh, I'm getting glue and everything all over the place here. All right. All right, so once you get that done, then we will go ahead and take our scissors, and we're going to do some mitering on these pockets. So this one's going to fold up, and you're going to miter the 1/2 inch, and then I folded this pocket. So this is going to, when you fold it up, it's going to create the top pocket, the middle pocket, and then this one will go on top and make the 3rd. All right, so when you fold it, we can go ahead and miter this all at the same time. All right, just miter that 1/2 inch piece. And then what you're going to do is fold all of these little tabs to the back. Okay, so what I mean is do like that. Okay, on all 4 of those. And burnish those down. And if it's easier to do it one at a time, you can totally do that, but that is going to be that pocket. So then we simply just glue these 2 tabs onto the big pocket. So this is basically a folded pocket, a double folded pocket. All right, like so. Then we're going to take the second piece that we did. We're going to miter all of the 1/2 inch pieces, and we're going to sharply miter the bottom corners there. So that way we'll get rid of bulk at the bottom of the pocket. And then we're going to, again, fold on the score lines. All right. And this is going to go on the front of this. So we're going to do the bottom part first because we're going to add some tape to the tabs, and then that way when you put your tags and stuff in, they won't get caught up on the edge of that tab. So we're only going to do the bottom one first. Try and make sure it's lined up nice. Okay, and then open that pocket. Before we glue the rest of it down, take a little bit of your tape, your cellophane tape. All right, we're just going to cover that edge. And I just think I've used almost all the rest of my tape. Good thing I have another roll. And then once you do that, then we can go ahead and do the sides. Okay, fold those up. All right, so then you have your 3 pockets. The one thing that you don't have is the bottom edge here, and that is where this piece comes in. So this connector here, we're just going to fold it, and then we're going to go ahead and miter these edges. Okay, just like we would do if it was actually a hinge on the pocket. I'm just going to miter those. And then we're going to add that to the bottom of our pocket. So I'm going to put a little glue on this. Got glue everywhere. So I'm going to glue that to the bottom of the pocket. And it's a little bit shorter than the pocket, okay? Or a little bit less wide, I should say. So just put it right in the center there. Okay, and then we'll grab our tape. Let's see if I have any more in this roll, because I think it's almost out. Oh, I think I got plenty for this. Put that right there. So pattern paper for this. So we need the 3 pieces of pattern paper. So the first piece, they're all going to be 5 3/8. The first piece is going to be 1 7/8, and then I cut a piece just out of my scraps, 1 1/2 by 5, 1 1/2 by 5 3/8. Okay, and then 1 1/2 again by 5 3/8, and then those are going to cover the pockets. So we're just going to do that, and then we can attach it to the box. Because the box is getting so big, it's kind of easier to be able to do the pockets and get them all papered and everything before we put them on. It just makes it easier to deal with. If you have a desk space like I do, that's kind of important because I don't have a lot of desk space. I'm kind of thinking about totally not only reorganizing and, you know, destashing and all that, but I'm also thinking about like totally doing my room as far as like moving the furniture around and stuff and giving myself a bigger workspace, because this is just getting too small for what I'm doing. That's for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on here. And I like to tuck mine in the pockets and kind of let them go down where they're, you know, going to be. And then I hold them down, and then I kind of sneak the glue underneath. The paper will go just underneath the pockets a little bit. All right, and give you that nice look. Okay, so then if we take our page, this is going to lay down. It's going to give you about 1/4 of an inch around. So we're just going to center that. And again, we're going to do the bottom only. And I'm just kind of eyeballing this and centering it. Now, the reason why this is not going to, the pockets aren't as wide as the page. That was one of the things that I noticed when I was making my other book, or my other box, I should say, is that the pages or the pockets got too thick, and then they kind of fought with each other when you tried to close the box. So I ended up making the pockets a little bit less wide, so that way when the pages close up, they don't fight with each other. There's a little bit of room in between here and here, so that the pockets don't like run into each other. Okay, so that's why I ended up doing that. Kind of revamped the whole thing, basically size-wise and stuff. It was fun when I put it together, but it wasn't practical. So it's nice as a pretty little decor piece. But that one isn't very practical. All right, so pockets are done. So this part is done. This will fold up just like this and be awesome. Now, I did do the lid already on this. We're going to make all the lids the same way. So I did do this one already. I've got the piece that I'm going to put on top of that already. I'm just not going to decorate it yet. The lid itself is 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut a piece of cardstock that is 9 1/4 by 9 1/4, and then you're going to score it at 1/2 inch all the way around. All of the lids are scored at half inch, 1.5 inches all the way around. So this one again is 9 1/4 by 9 1/4. You're going to score it at 1.5 all the way around and make your lid. And I will show you on another lid how to make this. They're all put together exactly the same. They're just different sizes. The pattern paper, again, is cut at an 1/8 inch shorter than the piece it's covering. So you will need 2 pieces that are 6 1/8 by 6 1/8. And you will need 8 pieces total that are 6 1/8 by 1 3/8 to cover the outside and the inside. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. And then once you are ready, you can fold up your box and you can put your lid on, and that will keep everything nice and contained. So that's what the outer box is going to look like, okay? And it's a lot bigger. You can see you're going to be able to actually use this one. So let's go on to the next layer. So this is the middle layer of the box, and you need 2 pieces that are 10 by 10, okay? And we're going to put them in the scoreboard. We're going to do them the same way. So you're going to take your 10 by 10, do it at 5 and 5, all right? So we will do that. And then we're going to make 1 slit in this. So again, 10 by 10, 5, score it at 5. And then I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to cut the score, and I'm going to cut the score completely out. So I'm going to try and get it to where I can see it good. I've had a lot of caffeine, I think. I say that every video, don't I? I should probably quit doing videos first thing in the morning after I've caffeinated, because I get a little jittery. Okay. All right, so I'm just cutting a wee sliver out. Just basically cutting that score out. Okay. And then when we fold this, we can go ahead and, if that doesn't come off nicely, we can just trim that off. Okay, so just a wee sliver. All right, so let's get this out of the way and let us fold. And I'm going to make sure this is nice and straight. So I'm going to do one at a time just so I can make sure everything is good to go. All right. And then we'll go ahead and fold it the other direction. Like so. And then we're going to grab this. So the bottom of the box, let's see, we're going to do this like this. So we got our flaps, kind of top and bottom. We're going to glue this together just like that. And what these flaps are going to do is fold over like this and help create the pages. So this is going to be our stacked photo page, and we're going to add some more pages to this in just a second, okay? So let's first glue the bottom of the boxes together. Now on this one, we're not going to cover the bottom of the box because the intention is that it's going to be stuck down to the inside of the box we just made. So you don't need pattern paper to cover the outside bottom of this box, but we will cover the inside. So let me get rid of this. My little directional posties there. All right. Make sure that's nice and stuck. Okay. And then what we're going to do is, since this is going to fold over and create that page, and then this is going to fold over and create that page, we are good to go. So I've already cut the papers. I haven't added everything, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. And then I will add those in a minute. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to create booklets. So each of these sides are going to have 3 pages. So this one here already has 1 built in. We're going to have these 2 that are just going to be added right on top of that. And then I have cut my pattern paper, and I probably should have added that already, but I didn't. I will do that and then we'll come back. So that'll go there, and then we're going to have photo mats. So for these photo mats, I used white artisan cardstock. And again, I can't get my fingers to work. So you are going to need something because you are going to have those tabs there. So that's why I cut the photo mats. So that'll go there. This one will go on top of here after we add that tab. And then this one will go on the underneath just to kind of complete the look. So each of them will have that. Then the back sides will leave blank. So then you can use your stickers or whatever and add embellishments or more mats if you want to, whatever. So on the pages that have this flap, we're going to add 2 pages. On the sides that don't have the flap, we're going to have a set of 3 pages. All right, I hope that makes sense. All right, so again, this one has a flap, so we're going to have a set of 2 pages, and then this one's going to need 3 because it's only that single piece. So let me show you how we're going to do that. I'm going to get this out of the way for just a sec, and you're going to need a couple papers. This is for the bottom of the box, and here are your pages. So all of the pages are the same. So you are going to need how many are you going to need? 10 of these total. So 2 sets of 3 and then 2 sets of 2. Okay, so 10 of these total. They measure 5.5 by 5, and we're going to score them at 1/2 inch. So that's going to give you a 5 by 5 page. So you're going to do that to all 10 of these pages. You're going to miter and fold. Miter and fold, okay? And then we're just going to simply stack them on top of each other, making sure that all of the tabs are on the same side. And we're just going to add our glue and then just stack them like so, making sure everything's nice and lined up. Okay. There's 1, 2, and then here's the third one. So 2 sets of 3, 2 sets of 2. And these pages again are 5 by 5. They basically are the same size as the pages of the box. Okay. Then you need your pattern paper. So I chose to put this paper on all 4 of them. So we'll cover the top one with our pattern paper. Okay, then underneath, so we're going to have one of the white photo mats here. And that covers the tabs so we don't see those, which is nice. And then again, you can decorate the other side. You can add more photo mats if you want. However you want to do that. So we got 1. Here's number 2. Okay, and then the third one was going to go on after we put it on the box. So let's grab the box. And so this is a 3-page assembly. So we need to put it on the one without the flap. Okay, so we're just literally going to glue it to the page. They're all going to open towards the right. Okay, so we have to glue that to the page. It will go like so. And then it's going to fold up like that. Okay, now these won't compete with each other too much because the lid is going to be a little bit bigger than 5 by 5. It's going to be actually 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, so it will allow for a little expansion. So that's why I kept the pages the same size, and that seems to work out really nicely on the inner layers, of course, especially if you don't have corners. This one doesn't have corners because we're using those flaps. Okay. Okay, so whoops, there's that. Now, once you get all of those things on, before you put the pattern paper on the back, let's flip this over. We're going to need to add some seam binding. So I did cut a bunch of seam binding. I got 4 lengths at about 16 inches a piece. Actually, is it more than that? I think it might be 24, just to make sure that I have enough. Let me double check here. Let me double check. Yeah, about 24. Okay, so 24. 4 pieces of seam binding at 24 inches. Now, I like to take my seam binding, I spritz it with a little water, I crinkle it up and let it dry, and then it gets that little, that nice crinkly look. You definitely don't have to do that if you don't want to. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just put a little bit of seam binding down the middle of this page. So I'm just going to use my grid here to find the 2.5 inch mark. And I'm going to put my seam binding right across that, or my seam binding, my score tape. And I'm going to find my middle of my seam binding. And then I'm going to just lay that down, centered around, okay? And then you can cover the outside with your pattern paper. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my glue. And I'm going to lay that down over top of the seam binding, like so. Make sure that it stays straight on the ends there. So you might want to pull it, just make sure that it's nice and straight. And I had to stand up for that. All right. Okay. All right, so that's the outside of the box. Then what's going to happen is the seam binding will wrap around the front and tie and keep those pages in place when your box is closed. All right. So again, the pages, I'll show you this one here. We'll put the page assembly on it. You just want the set of 2. And let me find it. Okay, so here's the set of 2. So we already have our page built in, so we just have to glue the 2 pieces together. So you need, again, 2 sets of 3 of these, 2 sets of 2 of these. This is the 2 set. We're just going to lay that on top and glue it down, and then you can go ahead and finish the rest of that. So I am going to do that part off camera, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. The papers that you need to cut, these are 5 by 5, so cut them at 4 7/8 by 4 7/8. You do need one for the middle because the inner box will go in there, and you will see the edge of it, but you do not need to cover the bottom because that will be glued into the larger box. All right, so I will finish that and I will be back and we will go on to the next step. Okay, so I have all the pages attached. I have my seam binding wrapped around, and I have the outside box covered. So that part is done. So we have all 4 sides have the 3-page assembly kind of attached to them. Okay, so then the next thing to do on this particular box is to create the lid. So I'm going to show you how to make the lid. And again, all 3 lids are done the same, so you don't have to, I'm not going to show you all 3 times, but I will show you on this one how to put it together. They're all different sizes, of course. This particular lid size is 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. You're going to just score, and all of them are scored the same, 1 1/2 on all 4 sides. Okay, so if it's easier to remember, just 1 1/2 on all 4 sides. All right, so the boxes are 1/4 inch bigger than, or the lid, excuse me, are 1/4 inch bigger than the box. So the outside box is 6 by 6. The lid is 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. The box that we just completed is 5 by 5. This is going to be 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 with 1 1/2 inch sides. The 4 by 4 box will have a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 lid with a 1 1/2 inch lid side for the side of the box. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Then we're just going to do what I call like a pinwheel cut. So you're going to cut straight up the score, and then we're going to create a tab. Okay, and then we're going to turn it and do the same thing. So you're going to have a tab, if I can see, you're going to have a tab on all 4 sides of the lid. And I think it just adds a little bit more strength to the box. You can do it however you like. If you like your tabs going, you know, 2 up and 2 down, however you want to do it. But I do it like this. I think it works. I think on the smaller boxes it works especially well. On bigger lids, probably doesn't matter a whole lot, but you know, you kind of get into a habit and you do what you do. So I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to cut up all 4 of those sides and then make tabs out of the squares in the corner. And then what we're going to do a little bit of pattern paper first before I put it together, because it's a lot easier to do it that way. So on the outside, you can cover everything. So you can cover the sides and you can cover the lid. Okay, so this is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. So the pattern paper is 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. And I'm just gonna put my glue on there. This is on the outside of the box, and you know what I should have done is I should have burnished first, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. We can do that right now. Makes it a little bit easier to deal with that. So let's just go ahead and stop right now and do that. Okay. Make sure it's straight. Okay. All right, now back to the cover, or the outside. Outside of the lid. All right, then the sides here are 5 1/8 by 1 3/8. So you will need 8 total pieces of pattern paper. 4 for the outside, 4 for the inside. And then just watch your direction. If it's directional paper, when the box lid is down, you're going to want your pattern to go appropriately, okay? So just make sure if there is a direction that you have it in the proper direction. Like so. And then go. A couple more here, and then we can do the inside a little bit. Last one. So again, this is the outside of the lid. do the inside of the lid. Okay. Okay, so there's that. So then we're going to turn this over and I'm going to do this. Now, when I do my box lids, when I imagine my lids, you know, in use, when I take them off, I kind of flip them like this. That's just my thing. So I want to make sure if there's a direction to the powdered paper on the inside that I want it so that when I flip that lid over that it's right side up. Does that make sense? So I like to do this. So again, lids on the box. This is the front of the box. When I flip it over, I'm going to have the direction go that direction. Okay. It's just my thing. And, you know, everybody has their things, right? I think I have more than others, but that's okay. All right. So the only thing that you can cover right now is this part right here. And then what we're going to do is make our box. So I'm going to just one at a time add glue to these tabs. Okay, and then I'm going to set it down and then just make sure that that is nice and burnished down. Art glitter glue is what I'm using. I get it from Country Craft Creations. It sticks very well and it sticks very fast. Okay, we can put glue on that one. And then flip it up on its side. It's nice and matching. Make sure that's burnished down. Okay, next one. Now on this one, make sure that the other tab, even though we're not gluing it yet, is on the inside, because otherwise if it gets stuck on the outside of your lid, then, you know, you have to try and fold it back in, and sometimes that's kind of difficult. So try and make sure that you do that, because I forget sometimes, and it does make life a little bit more difficult. Okay. That's pretty good. And then you just fold that one down. Put your glue on. Like so. Line up your corners. Okay. All right. So now our lid is formed, and then we can go ahead and put our pattern paper on here. So whichever way you want to do your pattern paper, I think I actually like the florals better. So I'm going to do, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll do the hearts. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the hearts. Otherwise, there might be too many florals there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put those down. Now, the other nice thing about making this size is you can use this as a photo mat as well. So that works out really good. So if you put an extra one on the top, I wouldn't go super thick with embellishments, because there will be another box that goes in there, you know, the middle box that we're going to be making here in just a second. So you can't do too thick of embellishments, but you could do a little bit. So you could make that into a nice little photo mat, which I have done before, and that works out really well. It gives you yet another place to put pictures. So this is going to be a cool album, because like my idea with the 12 months of the year for baby's first year, and you can put a couple pictures of each month. It's a really great album to show how baby has grown during that year, which is quite spectacular a lot of times, because boy, the babies grow fast, don't they? All right. Then I do have a piece for the top ready to go. I just haven't put it together yet. Okay, so there's our lid. So that is the inside, outside. And then this piece here, I'm planning on putting on the top and then decorating, but we'll do that later. So that is second box done. Okay, so we'll just tuck that in there and push up our sides, and then I'll show you. Now there will be another box inside so the edges won't pop in, but this is what I was talking about with the outer box. That's why I always like to put the corners in, because otherwise if there's nothing inside to stop it, then it will fold in like that. But this one will have a box on the inside, so that'll be kind of up against the box a little bit, and it won't, you know, collapse in. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So then this just goes over here like that, and boom, there's your box. Okay, so second box is done. Let's go to the third box. For the middle box, this is the last box, you're going to need one piece of 12 by 12 paper. You're going to score at 4, at 8, turn, score at 4, and at 8. And then once you do that, then we're going to do a pinwheel cut around. Let me get rid of this too. You're going to do a pinwheel cut around, but just straight up the score lines, okay? So I'm going to, again, try to cut the scores out just because, you know, I don't like the bumpy edges, and it's just taking off just a hair of pattern, or of cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to pinwheel around, so you just keep going around, trying to move the paper so it's in, you can see where the scores are. Now you can do this with scissors, you can do this, you know, flat with a straight edge, however you want to do it. Okay, straight up on all 4 sides. So we're going to do that pinwheel cut again. Okay, one more time. Can't see the shadow. Sorry, guys. Probably getting it right in your face with the camera, which is not okay. All right, so let's see. All right, so we have these little bits here, which we might have to trim. So then let's go ahead and fold and burnish, and let's make sure that everything's nice and straight. So I want to make sure that it's nice and straight up here up top. Okay. And then fold the page over. Again, nice and straight. And everything is in my way because I told you I need a bigger space. Okay. I'm going to fold down. Get rid of this. All right, so this page is an accordion page, and then you're going to have a belly band. All right, so we've got all of our pieces. So these are all going to fold to the inside. Okay, so each page folds to the inside. All right, and then you're going to add a little page assembly. So I've got a couple ready. and I'll show you, and then I'll finish it, and then I'll come back, okay? So this is going to be attached to the page. There's a little hinge here, okay? When you lift this up, it'll go like this, and then it'll fold open like that, okay? So we're basically going to, I'm going to put this down just so you can see what it's going to look like, and then I'll show you how to make it. So you're going to put it on the open edge of that top page, just like so. Okay, glue that down. All right, so then it'll open like that, and then it'll open like that, okay? And that's how that is going to go. And then it'll have a little belly band here that I'm going to show you how to create that will keep everything nice and closed. All right, so that'll go over just like that, okay? So let me show you how to make the pages. I've already got the other two done. I've got one more to make, and I'll show you that. Really super simple. Doesn't take a whole lot. Each one of these is, get my bone folder here, go this way. So this is 8.5 by 4. You're going to score at half and at 4.5. All right. Then you're going to, let's grab your belly band next. Just get this out of the way. So the belly bands, you'll need 4 of these that are 9 by 1.5. We're going to score at half, 5/8, 4 3/4, 4 7/8. Okay, let's do that again. Half, 5/8, 4 7/8, or excuse me, 4 3/4, and then 4 7/8. Okay, so those are your belly bands. So super easy peasy. For the page, we just miter here. Then we're going to fold that, and then we're going to, let me see how I did that. Yeah, it's going to go that side. Okay, so the tab's going to go on this side. This will fold to the front. Just want to make sure I don't screw it up for you, because I do that pretty good. All right, so there is the page. That's literally all there is to that. And then you're going to take this and glue it to the front. So you have the tab on the back, and then the page like that. Okay, that's how that's going to glue down. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on my front cover here, just to keep my orientation. Okay. All right, so there's that. Okay, and then the belly bands, super easy. So you're going to miter the 1/2 piece, and then you're going to fold on those score lines, and just be careful because they are 1/8 inch folds. All right. Okay, so score, fold, burnish. Okay, so we have all of that done, and then you're basically just going to glue this together. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue the tab to the outside, and the reason why we're going to do that is because I don't want the tab on the inside catching on the pages. Okay, so if you fold that up, that should fold right over and be perfect. Okay, so I'm going to grab glue. And fold that over. Okay. Okay, so then when you open that up, you should have 2 little 1/8 inch gussets for this belly band. Okay, and then you're just going to grab your pattern paper and cover it up. So I have a couple of them done already. Do not know why. Oh, why did I do that? I have no idea. Anyway, then you're going to do that. So let me show you. here's my other thought for these pages. So if you put the pages on, then we're going to need, you know, some photo mats, right? So we're going to bend that back. I'm going to put a photo, or excuse me, put glue on the tab here. I'm going to glue that to the top of the page. Okay. Make sure that's nice and lined up. Okay. You're going to need a photo mat here because it needs to cover the tab. All right. These pages are 4x4, so this is 3 7/8 by 3 7/8, as is the pattern paper on the top. So we'll put one there, and then you'll have that. Okay, so that's how that's going to open up. And then I thought that when you open it up this way, you could do 2 more, like here and here. Okay, so we have kind of opposite things going on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, go off camera and finish putting all of these pieces together and show you the lid, and then I will be right back. Alrighty, so I've finished the box. This is the inside box. This is the 4x4 box. The papers that I cut, you'll need 4 pattern papers for the inside and then 4 for the outside. So I did do that. They are 3 7/8 by 3 7/8, and then each one will require, let's see, how many did I put? I think 3 photo mats of white cardstock. So those are 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 as well. The belly bands, when you do the covers, where did I put my ruler? I lost my ruler. Where'd it go? So for the belly bands, you will need 2 pieces of pattern paper, and these will measure 4 by 1 3/8. Okay, so you'll need 2 for each one, so 8 total. All right, then I made the lid. The lid itself is made again the same way, but the measurements for the cardstock are 7 1/4 by 7 1/4, and then you're going to score on all 4 sides at 1 1/2. So that makes a lid that's 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and you're going to need pattern paper that's 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, so 2 for the outside and for the inside, and then you will need 8 pieces that are 4 1/8 by 1 3/8. So you'll need 4 for the outside of those and then 4 for the inside. Okay, I've already picked my piece that I'm going to put on the top, so that's really pretty. I wanted to show you, I've been using this kind of yellow cardstock. This was from my stash by, who is it by? I'll show you real quick. Nature's Garden by Crafter's Companion. So I got that, and the yellow just kind of, I thought, matched perfectly with that collection. So that's where I got that. It's kind of a shimmery gold. It's really pretty, and I thought it matched the collection really well. Okay, so there's that. So then when this folds up, then obviously the lid will keep everything closed, and the belly bands won't go right in the middle of your you know, box side, because the lid will take some of the space, just to be aware of that. Then let's see, I did make, here they are, these little pieces. So this came in the paper collection, the little month 2x2 squares. So I basically just cut those out, rounded the corners, and then backed them on more of that shimmer. So that's going to go on, like, this is for the last 4 months. So those will attach to the belly bands like that. All right. So each one of the pages will have some of those. So let me put this off to the side for just a sec and grab the rest of our boxes, and then we can put them together. So here's the bigger box. So you're going to grab the second box, and this will, let me get rid of that. That's going to go on the lid. So this one right here, let me make sure I get it all in the right orientation, will glue right here to the bottom of the box. Now here's a tip. If you do not want to glue these down. You do not have to. It will make it a little bit easier to, you know, take them out, look at them, put things on. You can wait until you get papers in here, get your pictures in here and do that. Or you can just go ahead and glue them down now, because it will lay flat once you take all the lids off. So it is, you know, easy to work on if you want to, okay? So there's that. You can glue them down or not, however you want to do it. And then this piece here will go like that, and that is going to be your box, okay? So then the lids for these will go on. Like so. And then this will go in like so. And then your outer lid will go on again like so. All right, and that is going to be your box. Now, I know you saw a little montage at the beginning of this video on what this looks like all decorated, so I will go ahead and put that at the end of this video too, just so you can see. But you can see how beautiful this box is, how wonderful it's going to work. And then when you open it up, you're going to have that explosion. When you do glue the boxes down, you will have a 1/2 inch border all the way around between the boxes, so you're going to have more room to move, be able to, you know, put tags in here, all the things. So again, the month stickers, or the month pieces, I'm going to put on the front of the pockets like so, all the way around. So you'll have that. And then on the inside of these, the month pieces are going to go like at the top. So each page will have, you know, the box. Each page will have the month. Use my words, Michelle. Use your words. Okay, so like for example, like that on the belly band. Okay, so that's my tutorial. Now, the other thing too, if you don't want to do the belly bands, you don't have to. You could do a seam binding closure again if you want to. You could just leave them. I think that they need something because of the nature of them. If you don't, you know, I like the belly bands. I think that's going to be cute. I think I'm going to put that right there, and that's going to go on there, and it's going to be just adorable. So that's how I'm going to do that. So again, the montage is at the beginning of the video and at the end of the video, so you can see how I decorated it. I will have all of the stuff in the description for cut guides and all that. And then I also, you know, of course, went over it all in the video too. So take notes. Whenever I watch a video, I always, you know, kind of watch it first, take notes, write things down, print out whatever's in the description. If there's stuff in there I need, and then you can take notes and then go back and make this. But that's how I made it. So this is the bigger version of my my baby explosion box. So I hope you like it. And I think that it's going to be absolutely adorable once I get it all complete and put together. Let me show you the lids. So this one's going to go here. That's going to be for the outside. This one will go here. That's the middle box. And then this one will go right here. And then we have all of our little month pieces that are going to go in the different areas. So again, this paper collection is Echo Park, Our Baby Girl. And I thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you wish. Just so you know, I am not monetized. I do not do this to make a paycheck. I do this because I absolutely love paper crafting and sharing, you know, things with other people. And I love learning from other people. And I do this because I want to. So I do appreciate comments and likes and people subscribing to my channel. I do put out a lot of stuff on my own and for the design team. I just love sharing what I learn and what I know. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Stay crafty and have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.